There we go. That should be good. Okay, and we're chilling here waiting for two more to log in online, and maybe Vasily show up here in class, but he probably will be online too. All right, so what we're going to do today, we're going to talk a lot about open houses today. Have you done one yet? No? No?
A long time ago.
A long time ago. Okay, Danielle, have you done an open house yet? With COVID, lots of people have never even done one yet.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like I missed out on a lot of leads because we haven't really had the open houses, but hopefully that'll change.
I think it will. There's Anthony. Okay, let's get rolling here. So open houses. When I first started in sales, in real estate sales, the very first thing I did, was an open house. Why don't you hop up here? That way I'm not, that way we're all together here. So the very first thing I did was an open house. I started in real estate. I didn't even realize what they were really. I come out of the mortgage business. I went to do my first one and it was amazing. It was incredible. There had to be like 15 couples come in. I picked up 2 buyers. I actually sold one of the buyers a house the following week. So of course, I love with open houses, right? How do you not? When that's your initial success is amazing, you fall right in love. So I went out and I got toppers for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that I could do an open house every day of the week. And I must have done in my first 2 years in real estate, at least 1, most weeks 2 a week open houses for my first year. And I built a lot of my initial business off open houses. It's incredible. So I came out of a sales background. I was a financial planner. I was in mortgage business. I came out of a sales background where you really learn to respect live, ready to buy prospects. Does that make sense? They're expensive. They're hard to find. They're hard to get to. They're the toughest thing. So if you're a marketer, you're trying to do sales, 90% of your mission is to target those people, figure out how to target them. How do I best spend my money to get to them? How do I communicate with them? Well, this was the most amazing thing I'd ever found in sales was, here's a place I don't have to pay anything. Some agent has a listing. I'm just going to go sit in the house for a couple hours. People are going to walk into me for free who want to buy a house. That's why they're there. I know a lot about them just by being there. We'll go over that in a sec. But they come in and they see me and it's free and all I have to do is make friends with them. And I thought it was just the most incredible thing ever. How is this even possible? And why is everybody not doing it? And then I realized that if you do it wrong, if you do an open house wrong, it's a crappy way to spend a Sunday afternoon. It really is. It's not fun. It's not. If you don't do it right, you come home with nothing. You feel like you've wasted your time, your energy. You've been in an uncomfortable situation. And it's just, lots of people hate open houses. And I never figured out why till I started training agents how to do them and realized, oh my God, we're doing this all wrong. All wrong. So what I'm going to teach you guys today is what is the sort of systems we came up with open houses that led to ultimate success. And I'm going to start right now with telling you guys right flat off the bat, the goal of an open house is not to sell the house you're in, which is a big, now it is possible that you sell that house you're sitting in during an open house. In this market, it's actually pretty possible that somebody will walk in and want to put an offer in on that house. Chances are they'll get outbid on the house you're sitting in because they're new to you and you don't have a chance to coach them yet, but they might. But in most times, what the reason for the open house is to meet prospective buyers. Now, if that's the case, I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to mislead, misinterpret, misguide people. So I tell my sellers, I tell them, part of me working for you, part of my commission is you're going to let me borrow your house on Sunday afternoon for 2 hours so that I can try and build more business for myself. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm going to do an open house. She said, well, agents do open houses. I said, yeah, but just so you're aware, we do open houses. Hi, come on in. Hey, grab a seat. How are you?
Pretty good. Nice to meet you in person.
You too. So when we do open houses, the purpose is we want to expose ourselves and our business to as many customers as possible. So I ask my clients permission to do that. And I actually tell them that. I say the purpose of this open house. So just so that you guys know, everybody that's here today, all of you guys, I have a townhouse coming up in Vanier. It's the 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. We're painting it, staying here right now. The open house will either be this Sunday if we can get it ready, or next Sunday. The seller has given me permission to bring as many of you that want to come to the open house and use it as a training. Come in. So I talked to her already. So like what I was telling you guys is I'm really open and direct with my sellers. I tell them, look, the open house is a favor for me. It's a chance for me to meet people. It might sell your house, but it might not too. But the reason we're going to do it is because I want the opportunity to help build my business. I'm going to sell your house for top dollar. This is what you're going to do for me in exchange. Make sense? But I say that to my clients. I actually tell them. So what I was saying to everybody is I have a listing coming up, a townhouse in Vanier. It's either going to list Thursday this week or Tuesday next week. The first Sunday it lists, the seller said I could bring all the students in to do the open house. We can all do it together. We'll have an open house party. Yeah, so we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so very first thing is you got to get that set up with your sellers right properly, right? You don't want them come thinking that, oh my God, I'm going to do an open house from 2 to 4 and at 4 o'clock I'm going to get an offer, the house is going to sell. They do sell at open houses, but not a lot. The reason for the open house and the reason we're doing this class is not to sell the house you're in. It's to build the relationships with buyers that are going to buy different houses. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so let's set it up in advance. I'm going to tell you what you don't do. And this is how you have a shitty Sunday. This is how you ruin your Sunday. You leave your house at 1:30 to go to your open house. On the way, you throw up the sign. You show up at 2 o'clock on the button. You open the door. You go stand in the house. You meet people for 2 hours and you go home. Right? You may as well have stayed home. Open house, I try and draw everything back to real simplicity. So for me, when I'm sitting with a buyer or seller, that's game day. That's game time. That's when I'm on, right? That's when you see professional Jeff and smooth Jeff and polished Jeff and all the scripts come out and everything else. I look at an open house more of a circus. So for me, the open house is going to be fun. It's not what they're going to go look at 12 open houses in a row, because that's what they do. It's Sunday 2 to 4. I'm looking for a house. I'm going to go look at 12. How do I make my open house be the one you remember? Because of the 12 open houses you go to, 6 of us are going to be on the ball and are going to call you. You need to have a relationship with me from that open house that you remember. So that when I call you, go, I remember you. And so my open house is designed, the whole process, for you to remember me the next day. That's the purpose of this. Attract as many people as we can and then have them remember you the next day. That's it. It's real simple. So let's start with what not to do. Don't show up 5 minutes to 2, open the door and go, right? Open houses, you've got to have a game plan. You got to have discipline. You got to have structure. So let's start at the beginning. You need to pick your open houses. If you're going to do an open house on Sunday, you need to know by Monday, the week before. You don't want to pick an open house on Friday to do on Sunday. You won't be able to promote it. You won't be able to get the bang for it, right? You want to use the open house as like I said, it's like a carnival or a circus. Well, to do that, we need to build some hype. The first thing you build the hype with is the topper. And I brought one in for those of you that are newish, and Alex moved it. This is a sign topper. This is a sign topper. You can get them at any of the sign stores. They look like this. See, this one says Sunday 1 to 3. Mine usually say 2 to 4. This is a West one. I just stole it from them. It has a bolt and some clips here on it. It goes on a for sale sign, kind of like this. It goes over, and then you undo the bolts and do it. Everybody understand? This goes up the second you confirm that you're going to do the open house. If it's Monday, this should be up Monday night. The more people that drive by and see this sign, the better off your open house is going to be in the week before. Does that make sense? Now, in this market, if you put this sign up on Monday on your sign, you will get calls Tuesday from people that don't want to wait till the open house because, oh, it's going to be so busy. And you'll get calls on Wednesday in this market of people. So this is a great marketing tool. Don't miss it. How do you miss it? You miss it by putting up the night before your open house, right? So pick your open house Monday. Then what I like to do, and when I had my team, we really did this a lot, is we circle prospect around the open house. So I do my open houses 2 to 4 on Sunday now, because that's what Ottawa's trained to do. By the way, some cities are different. I didn't know that. Smith Falls, like Saturday from 1 to 3, they're trained. It's really weird, but some cities are different. So I do my open houses Sundays from 2 to 4. What I do is I do a special neighbors only open house from 1:30 to 2. Okay. So then our circle prospecting is this. So circle prospecting means you have an open house, you're going to do it on this street. You go to Bell Canada reverse directory and you look at all the phone numbers on the street and you call them. You go and knock on the doors, you drop off postcards, whatever it is you want to do to build hype. The more stuff you do, obviously, the more your name will get out there and the more people will come to your open house. So you get it on Monday, you want to start calling Tuesday, Wednesday, say, and you're going to call the neighbors. You're just going to say, the script is real simple. Hi, this is Jeff calling. I just listed your neighbor's house. We've been getting unbelievable feedback on this house. What I wanted to do was, I'm doing a very special neighbors only open house from 1:30 to 2 on Sunday before my real open house, so that you can come over and take a look and preview the house, see what it's like, poke around a little bit, meet me, I'll meet you. At that time, if you know of anybody that might want to move in this neighborhood, this is going to be your one chance to pick your neighbor. So if you come look and you like the house, and you promote it. Now, if you get a neighbor to the house from 1:30 to 2, why did they come? You guys tell me.
They want to see what the neighbor's house looks like inside.
Yes, but why?
They might see what-
Yes.
Yes, they want to come and look at the neighbor's house. How does it compare to
What-
mine? What are they
their
going to
own
get? And could I get this much money too? Right? Isn't it beautiful? If you can
Yeah.
convince 2 or 3 neighbors to come from 1:30 to 2, here's what I guarantee. If you have any kind of charm at all, and you all do or you wouldn't be here, you're going to be able to convert. If you get 3, that's going to be 1 listing for you. So now we've done an open house. We booked it on Monday. You did your circle prospecting. Somebody came to that pre-agent open house or neighbors pre-open house. Now you got 1 client already and the open house hasn't even started yet. We got a seller, right? This is how you use the open houses. But if you didn't do the circle prospecting, you didn't do the phone calls, you didn't do the mail drops, those people didn't come at 1:30, you didn't make that $30,000 commission or $20,000 commission, whatever it was, right? You got to do the work. So in advance, the only way this works is, I call them standards, you call them what you want. It's accountability. So here are my standards that I set. I want to do 1 open house every 2 weeks, so 2 a month. At my open houses, I have a certain number of signs that I'm going to put out. I'll put out way more, but I have a certain number of signs. Has anybody seen an open house sign? You guys on TV, have you seen the signs? They look like this. I have 2 that I use. I use these ones on these little spikes because they're really easy to put up and they're really light and I can just jam in. So I have probably in my garage, Anthony, how many do I have? I probably have 25 of these in my garage.
At
And then I
least,
have
and just some everywhere else.
Yeah, and then I have 20 of these A-frame ones. Okay, so everybody heard, how many open house signs do I have?
25.
I have 20 of these and 20 of these. How many open house signs do I have? Okay, if I have 1 open house on Sunday, how many signs do you guys think I'll put up? This is me now. How many signs? Somebody guess. I'll
As
put
many
them
as
all.
you're allowed to.
As many as I can. I put up 40 signs on Baseline Road when I was selling one of those red brick apartments by Maryville. Up and down both sides of the road. My seller drove out of the house, started laughing and called me. He goes, "It's like a circus out here. There's balloons and signs and streamers." And I'm like, dude, they let me advertise on Baseline Road from midnight Saturday night to midnight Sunday night for free on one of the busiest streets in the city. What do you think I was gonna do? My name is gonna be everywhere up and down that road, right? Because this is our chance. People pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to put a sign by the side of the road. We're allowed to do it for 24 hours for free. Why the hell would you not put up all the signs you get? Me, I have a neighborhood I want to look. If everybody drives around the neighborhood, in every corner they see a Jeff sign, they don't know it's all for one house. They just think I own that neighborhood. Right? They don't know it's just one little townhouse I have. They think I own the neighborhood. Not only that, it impresses the hell out of my sellers when they get up Sunday morning and they go for a drive. They see at 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night, I put up 800 signs. They're like, wow, there's signs everywhere. This is gonna be great, right? Because they just get excited. So signs are key. Social media posts. Make sure your Facebook is on, or your open house is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all your social media stuff. Now, here's what you do with that. Invite people to come meet you. Hey, I'm at this open house Sunday from 2 to 4. Don't say, oh my God, it's an amazing open house. It has a great kitchen, has a great that. Hey, I have muffins. Come over, say hi. Because what's the best thing that could happen at an open house? One of your buddies stops it. I love when my friends come to my open house. They're, hey, I was in the neighborhood, saw your sign, stopped in. Awesome, come on in, let's talk. Blah, blah, blah. The more you have going on in your open house, the more it becomes like the circus, and that's what we want. We want atmosphere, we want excitement, right? Makes sense? Social media. So we're gonna put the signs up early. We're gonna book it Monday. If you book an open house on Friday, I don't even know if it can make it onto realtor.ca. I know if you book it on Saturday, it won't. So people look, where am I going to go look at open houses? They'll go look at realtor.ca. If you haven't registered that yet, then it won't show up and they won't know you're doing an open house. Okay. So let's talk about that. As soon as you have the open house Monday, you're going to put up the topper. The second thing you have to do is go to MLS and advertise your open house on the MLS. Say it's coming up. It's actually an attachment on MLS. You go in, open house, we're having it. Now, if you're doing it for somebody that's listing it, don't be rude, but remind them to update their MLS, right? Make sure that if they don't click that little button, there's an open house on Sunday, it's not going to show up on what is now actually, I think, the third busiest real website in Canada, realtor.ca. Yeah, but it won't show up if they don't click yes, and they better click yes on Monday. Make sense? Everybody following along? I think you have to have it up by Friday afternoon to get it there Saturday afternoon. Yeah. It changes. It used to be 3 days. Now I think it's like 12 hours or 24 hours, but whatever it is, get it up the second you can. Could you door knock to invite neighbors? Knock, knock, knock. Hi, I just listed that house next door. I'm so excited. This is going to be amazing. Oh my God, you should see how many people are calling me. It's crazy. My phone's rang off the hook.
I hope so.
I'm going to sell that to one of them and there's going to be 30 of them that can't buy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have 30 buyers ready to buy. If you've ever thought of selling, now might be time to look and see what you might be able to get. Could you do that at a door? Yeah. And if you're excited about it, would they not get excited about it? Right. The thing you guys have to remember is that excitement, enthusiasm, energy, all that stuff projects. It really gets out there. You know, I see people come in with 3-piece suits and ties and shoes and nice and drive their Teslas and look great, realtors. And that's awesome. And for 1/4 of the people, they're going to click like mad. There's 1/4 of the people out there that are going to love them, but there's 3/4 of the people that aren't. Right? I try and be that person for everybody. So excitement, energy, enthusiasm, it all pays off, especially in an open house. So circle calls, circle invites, all that stuff, right? We're going to do all that. Now, what's our goal at an open house? What do we want? So my goal was, out of every open house, I want 3 buyer leads, 1 seller lead, and I want to close 1 transaction out of every 2 open houses I do. Okay. Now, as soon as you write that down and start making notes, this is what I want to do at each open house. I don't know how it happens. I've never written down a solid, reasonable goal and not achieved it. As soon as it's in writing, it's like it manifests itself. It just happens. You don't even know how, it just happens. By putting this stuff in writing and having some targets, this is how many signs I want to put out. This is when I want to put them out. This is how many circle calls I'm going to make. This is how many door knocks. This is how many buyers I'm going to pick up. This is how many sellers and all that. Now, does it work? Of course not. Sometimes you do an open house, you're going to read a book. It's going to be you. Sometimes, and I'll tell you worse than a flop, sometimes you'll open the open house and it's going to be like you were thirsty and you stuck your mouth under Niagara Falls and it just blows the back of your head off and you got 90 couples through your open house and you spend the whole time organizing shoes and mopping up puddles and you don't meet anyone. So there's pros and cons, there's in-betweens, right? If I was going to do a townhouse in Barrhaven right now, there's no way in hell I would try and do it alone, because it's going to be that. It's going to be like putting your mouth to Niagara Falls for a drink. My head's just going to go, and there'll be leads everywhere, but you won't get any of them. Right. So, but these things are deadly. Okay. So, yeah, absolutely.
I know some agents now are doing 2 agents, 1 meeting and registering people at the door and 1 walking through. Also, mortgage specialists.
Yeah.
Free labor, and they love coming to the open houses with you, and you don't have to share the leads with another agent. Yeah, so and it's another person to have a different type of conversation.
I'll tell you another great one.
Yeah.
Alex's recruits she has in school that are doing training right now that are just learning. Those would be great people to bring to open houses. And not these guys. I mean, the ones that are still, like Anthony did an open house with Natasha last weekend or 2 weekends ago. They're Natalia, and it went great. Yeah. So Anthony's my son. This is Anthony right here. So Anthony's my son. He's just finishing up. He's a few weeks away. But he went there and he said, well, what do I do? I said, well, your job is to say hi, stack the shoes, and tell them to sign in. And that's what he did. Said hi, stack the shoes, and tell them to sign in, right? Because if you have to do that and 40 couples show up, All you're gonna do is stack the shoes, say hi, and tell them to sign in. You won't have time to develop any rapport. All right, so let's talk about the actual physical open houses. All right. Oh, thank you. The actual physical open houses. Okay, so really important you don't show up 1 minute before the open house because somebody always shows up right at 2. Always. There's always somebody that walks in right at 2. Your open house is 2 to 4, somebody's there at 2 every time. So you show up at 2, you're not ready, but it's worse than that. What if you get to the house and the house isn't ready? And this is my big pet peeve with showing up right on time. What if the house isn't ready? And I'll tell you my story. So I'm selling a house in South Keys, young mom, single mom, little baby, go to do the open house, walk in, open the door at 2. Somebody's following me in because I'm new and nobody taught me how to do this business yet. Open the door, walk in, and the whole house smells like baby poop. She changed the baby and put the diaper in the garbage and then put the garbage can under the sink in the powder room by the front freaking door. It took me 45 minutes to figure out where the smell was coming from. People literally walked in the front door, turned around and walked out. They didn't even come in. It was that strong. And I was like, oh my God. So I learned my lesson. Don't show up at 2 because what if the house isn't ready? Right? What if it's not ready? So always come a half an hour early. Now, if I'm going to do my pre-open house at 1:30 to 2, I'm going to show up at 1. I'm going to tell my clients, you're out an hour before the open house, you're gone. Like from 1 to 4, don't even be around. Eat it. It's my house. Get lost. I'm going to go in at 1 and I'm going to prep the house for my open house. So Alex put it on the floor, but that's okay. You all need one of these. This is my open house kit. And I'm going to show you what I keep in it. Very important stuff. Febreze. Smelly candles. Pens and pencils to sign in. A couple of display boards in case I want to put up a sign. Light bulbs, because I've gone in and the friggin' light in the living room has been burned out. And I haven't been able to find a bulb, so I always keep light bulbs with me. I got some gloves. I got some disinfectant. And the most important thing, a Mr. Clean magic sponge. You don't know what this is. This is a realtor's dream. The magic sponge is literally magic. If there's a white door with black paint on it, you can take that black paint off with this magic sponge. I don't know how. I don't care, but that's what's in my kit. Now I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips. You show up, the house smells bad. What do you do? First, find the smell and get rid of it. Second, Febreze. Do your candle thing. Then here's a realtor trick that I learned early on. In the wintertime, if the house smells bad, crank up the heat for about 5 minutes, then open all the windows upstairs. The air will go, then close the windows and turn the heat back down. And you'll basically recirculate the air in the house and get it fresh. Okay, I've done dishes, I've made beds, I put away dirty laundry. I've done everything at open houses. That's why you go early. You go early to make sure the house is prepped. Now, what do you bring to an open house? Well, obviously I have my kit, right? So I'm gonna bring candles. I'm very olfactory myself. I'm very driven by aroma and smell. I have done enough learning of human psychology to understand that of all of our senses, it is the one thing that your subconscious mind, your lizard mind, your limbic mind, whatever you want to call it, it's the one thing that your conscious mind can't override yet, right? If you see something, you convince yourself it's not there. I didn't see it right. If you hear something, you convince yourself I didn't hear it right. If you touch something, it doesn't feel right. Maybe I felt it wrong. If you smell something, your body reacts to it in a subconscious way before you even know it's reacted. And that's terrifying and very empowering.
It triggers memories.
Right? And big companies are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this. Walmart, Costco, at Christmas time, they'll pump out certain scents that make you impulse buy. And it's a whole science, this whole smell thing. But here's what we need to know. Coach your sellers. I'm going to do an open house on Sunday. Don't do any laundry just before. Don't shower just before. Don't use the washroom just before. Don't change the kids just before. Don't cook with anything. And especially not stinky food. No curry, no fish, no garlic, and we have a lot of different nationalities here. That pretty much covers a lot of different places where they cook with smelly foods. So I want my open house to be clean, set up, and I want it to smell good. the smell to me is everything. You'll see, that's why I have like 7 candles in my kit. If I go in as bad, for the first 20 minutes before people get there, it's gonna be a candle in every room, and then I'm gonna go blow them all out and hide them. But for me, it's huge. The smell is huge. The next thing for me is music. So I don't do an open house without tunes. I'm not sitting in a room but without music. I need to dance. I need to let go. I need to sing. I need to have fun. I need to enjoy myself. I always have music in my open houses. The music I play, classic rock and roll. So Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, stuff that everybody knows. And what I want to do is I want to catch you at my open house dancing or singing. And I'm going to kill you. Because if you're going to dance, I'm going to dance. If you're going to sing, I'm going to sing. And all of a sudden now we're having a party. And now when you go home and 6 people from open houses call you, and Chris, who did the open house next door in his 3-piece suit with his Tesla in the driveway, calls and goes, hello, is this Joan? Hi, Joan. This is Chris calling from eXp Realty. Or I call and go, Joan, it's Jeff. We danced today. How you doing? Look, I know you didn't really like that house, but I found 2 others that I think will fit great for you. They're in that neighborhood, in your price range. If you have something on Tuesday, we should go back out. She's gonna go, who the hell is Chris? Right? Jeff's the man. And that's what I want out of the open house. I want, when I call, I want them to remember me. That's all that I care. Just answer the phone and remember who I was. So music is key, right? Not too loud so they can talk, but always music. Because when you walk into an open house, it's a bit intimidating if you're the customer, right? There's a realtor there with a suit who wants to jump all over you and talk to you and make you sign in. And you're not really sure, it's a stranger's house. And then if it's dead silent, it's brutal. So the music really brings the atmosphere up, right? Remember I said carnival stuff. So in the summer I do balloons. So I'll do red and white balloons on my signs, like just 2, 1 red, 1 white. Go to the dollar store, buy some balloons. Anything that draws attention is huge. So at the open house, I dress like this. Now I can get away with this because I'm old. I'm not going to kid you. I can get away. If my son dressed like this, they would think he's being too casual. So for my son, I would recommend dress pants and shoes. As you age, you get certain leeways, right? They start to look at you like, well, maybe he's a little crazy, maybe he's a little unique. But when you're young, you got to impress. You got to dress to impress. So I wouldn't wear a 3-piece suit. I don't even think I'd wear a tie at an open house, but I would definitely fancy a dress shirt, even a sports coat, right? Just enough that I'm impressive enough for the person that wants me to be dressed up and casual enough for the person that's intimidated by the dress up. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What do you wear?
Girls, it's easier.
Yeah, it is easier.
Do you wear a dress or do you wear dress pants?
Depends on the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that really matters to me. I would wear jeans.
No, yeah, never wear jeans and go business casual, business attire. But as a woman, as a guy, when I put on a 3-piece suit and a tie,
Yeah.
it's super formal and stuffy.
I feel like
When
if
you guys
wear,
get
like,
dressed
a
up.
pair of pantyhose and a dress and it's not like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You caught it.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard of people say that there's studies that say people gravitate toward women that are in a skirted outfit. I don't know how true that is.
I would guess it's most likely a cultural thing.
Christine.
Yeah, I bet you it's most likely a cultural thing, and I bet you out east, where
Yes.
the Scottish and
Yes.
Irish and the Acadian people are. Oh, I absolutely bet
But
that's
I
true.
wear pants.
Absolutely bet that's true. Yeah. Okay, so where was I? We were talking about open houses, right? We do the tunes, we do the music. So you need sign-in sheets. You need something for them to sign in on. All it needs to be is something that you've created, has name, address, phone number, email address, and then a few simple questions underneath. And one of the questions needs to be, and you need to write this down, one of the questions need to be, have you signed a contract with another realtor? I do not ask people, are you working with a realtor? I asked, have you signed a contract with another realtor? Right? Why don't I ask everybody's working with a realtor? Not everybody signed. You haven't signed a contract, you're fair game. I can call you, I can talk to you. As soon as you sign that contract, if you are on an open house form and you write in there, I have signed a contract with Alexander. My conversations with you would be, if you like the house, I'll get in touch with Alexander, or you get in touch with Alexander. Right? I would all of a sudden bring her in because I don't want the client to feel like I'm trying to steal them. That means something to me because when that client leaves, I want them to think I'm ethical. And I want Alex to think I'm ethical. thing. It's a disguise, but it's a disguise, but they don't need to know that, right? We're trying to press them off. All right. So we're gonna go make sure the house, every light in the house is on. The bedside lights, the two little ones, those ones are on. Every light in the house is on. There should not be a light, and the light above the stove is, how much nicer is a kitchen when you walk in and the stove light's on and it's illuminating the stove than when it's not? Like little things like that matter. All of the lights are on. Now, if you're listing a house that doesn't have enough lights, you're gonna have to bring your own. You can't have a dark open house, right? So I have 2 or 3 of these lights that I have at my house that are just little stick ones with the light on the top, that I'll throw in my van and bring it to an open house from the dark house. So this one that we're gonna do together in Vanier, the basement's really dark. So I'm gonna have a couple of those in there in the basement just to light it up, just because it's easier to sell if it's lit up. So you got your sign-in station at the kitchen. My sign-in station usually will have a couple clipboards with sign-in. It'll have some feature sheets. Now, we don't do them right now because of COVID. I haven't seen one in forever. So what I really do there is I just print up some of the client, you know, the MLS client detail and put a stack there. So the other thing I bring to every open house is I bring a little binder, and I didn't bring one here, but just a little folder. And in that folder, I have all of the comps for my house. So I will have a quick CMA of all the houses like mine that have sold in the last 4 months. And then I will have 5 or 6 other listings that are active, if I can find 5 or 6, in that folder for me, so that if I get into a deep conversation, right, a really deep conversation. So I'm having a conversation with Yuri and we're talking and he tells me, well, this isn't the house for me. I said, you know what? I have a couple others here that I sort of have in my pocket. What do you think of this one? We can go see this one tomorrow afternoon if you have some time. Right? And if I have it right there, it's good to go. I worked with a guy who had phenomenal success like this. And this is kind of, it's a lot of work. So I don't know that I would do it, but what he would do is, if you're doing an open house in a townhouse in this neighborhood and there was another house listed, your open house was from 2 to 4, he would book this house for 4:30. And he'd book it 4:30 to 5:30. And what he would say to people when they're in the open house, he'd say, so what do you think of this house? Oh, you don't like it? You know, there's another one around the corner. Just happens. I had a client back out. I had it booked from 4:30 to 5:30. I had a client back out. I could take you over to look at it at 4:30 if you want. And he scooped up shit like that. Like, I was like, oh man. And it worked. Like every little thing like that. Like, you just got to be thinking on your feet. How do I take these people and make them into clients, right? How do I do it? So sign-in sheet in the kitchen, all set up. The house looks good. It smells good. There's music. There's everything going on. So what do you say to them when they show up? And this is where all agents fall apart. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Strangers are going to show up at the door and I don't know what I'm going to say to them. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. I'm just going to hide. All right. So here's what you do. This is what I do. And you would tailor this to your personalities, but this is what I do. I'm a big dude. And I tell them that. I say, listen, hey, welcome, thank you for coming. You leave your shoes here. I have to get you to sign in the kitchen just because it's required. No, it's COVID, it's a COVID requirement, but I have to get you to sign in the kitchen for me. That'd be great. Listen, I'm a big dude. I don't want to crowd you and make you feel smothered. I'm here with any questions you have. If you have anything you want to know, I'm here to answer your questions. Have a great time. And then they go in and sign in. Now I'm going to stalk them. I'm going to subtly stalk them throughout while they're there because I want to catch them doing something we can talk about. Right? If they have little kids, are great. What school are you going to? Oh, you got a hockey job, you play hockey, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you want to develop some rapport. You want to have a conversation, if you can, that's not about the house. If you can't, we're going to default to the house. But if you can, we're going to have one that's not about the house. So if I can catch them dancing or overhear them talking or whatever it is, I'm not going to be invasive, but I'm going to use it to develop some rapport. So if I hear them talking about, I don't know, you got to hurry up, she's got to go to ballet or whatever, I might figure out a way to work my kids in or whatever it is. I'm going to figure out a way to listen to what they're saying while they're in the house. Now, remember, if I'm herding cats, if I'm at the door organizing shoes, none of this happens, right? All I'm doing is organizing shoes. I don't want to be the shoe organizer. I want to be the salesperson. So I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to develop some rapport. I'm going to joke. We're going to laugh. I'm going to sing. We're going to dance. You're going to, at the end of it, my goal of the open house is for you to leave and go, hey, he was a nice guy. That's it. I don't even care you remember the house. Hey, he was a nice guy. If you love the house, you're going to tell me. If this is the house for you, there's going to be no question. You're going to go, I love this house. I want to put an offer in. If you don't, I'm also going to know. but I don't care. I want you to like me, not the house. So you're gonna look at the house, you're gonna walk around, you're gonna leave, I'm gonna say, thank you. I'm gonna take your sheet of paper that you signed in on, and you're gonna go. And then after the open house, what do I have to do? Take my candles, fix the heat, make sure the house is ready, take down all the signs. So drive around, pick up, by the way, if I put up 40 signs, I have to drive around for an hour and pick up signs. Yes, all that happens in an open house is not just I showed up on Sunday at 2 o'clock and stayed here till 4 and then went home.
So I will tell you that I did that for 5 years and I didn't pick up one single client from open house.
How come?
Because I did what you just said not to do.
All right.
Showed up at 2, rushed in, was there, tick, 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 rushed out.
Looked at it like the
It was a.
job was to do the 2 hours. And that's not the job. You might as well stay home. Yeah.
Every single Sunday for 5 years, I'm not kidding. I could pick up one client and then I gave up on open houses.
They're the best way to get clients. They're freaking amazing.
Still don't do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what I do now. This is what matters the most. Now you've got a stack of people that signed in. If 20 people came through, you've got 20 pieces of paper with people signed in. Of the 20, 14 of them will say they have realtors. Just throw those ones out. Don't worry about it, unless they were interested in the house. If they're interested in the house, call their realtor, say, hey, you had a client come to my open house. They're interested. Man, it's busy. You should talk to that client tonight. Here's their name. But it's the other 6, the 6 that don't have agents, that didn't say they have agents. I'm going to call all of them Sunday night or Monday night. Tuesday night's too late. If you can't call Sunday night or Monday night, don't do the open house. Let someone else who can call it, right? Sunday night, Monday night. Because by Tuesday night, no matter how charming I was, no matter how amazing, they've forgotten me by Tuesday. And if they forget me by Tuesday, they're probably going to forget most of you guys by like Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning. I'm pretty unforgettable at these things. So you got to call them. But what do you say when you call? Because there's the other stress, right? The stress is, what do I say when I meet them? I meet them at the door. I say, hey, welcome, sign in, leave your shoes. I'm not going to crowd you. If you have questions, I'll be here. And then I'm going to develop some rapport. When I call them, I'm going to say, Alexandra, hey, it's Jeff. We met at whatever street it was. Let's say it was Riverside Drive. Hey, we met at Riverside Drive Sunday at that open house. Remember, that was me, the big ugly guy that was dancing. She's gonna go, oh, yeah, I remember you. How's the kids? Whatever we talked about. I'm gonna have made notes on her sheet at the end of the open house, so I'll know what we talked about. I'll say, yeah. Oh, how'd the dance recital go? Was it now it's going? I feel like I know this guy. This is not like. I say, Alex, I know you guys didn't really like that house, but I found 2 more that I think you would love. Open houses are kind of inefficient because there's a lot of people and stuff. What I can do with these 2 that I found is I can set up one-on-one showings for us. We could see them both in about half an hour, and it would just be us, and it would be just private. And then we could talk about what you like or what you don't like. If you have some time Tuesday or Wednesday, we go do that. Oh yeah, I'd like to go look at more houses. This is so easy. So easy. I'd love to go look at houses. Okay, here's what you don't do. Hi, Yuri, I met you at the open house on Sunday. I have some time in my office Tuesday at 2 or Wednesday at 4. I'd like to do a buyer rep consultation with you in the office. Could you please come in, drive into my office and meet me so that we could do some contractual paperwork? That's probably not going to get you the response you want. The response you want is going to come from, hey, Yuri, I found some houses you're going to like. We should go out Tuesday and look at a few more. And you're going to go, yes, we should. Does that make sense? Why do I not do the buyer consultation? Because I met these people at an open house. They want to shop for houses. I like selling houses, so I want to take them to see houses. Now, let's go take a step back. How do you know what they want? If you met them at an open house, how do you know what they're looking for? Trick question.
Well, they might have said something.
They could have. They could have really said something by driving to a specific house and coming to look at it. Doesn't that say a lot? Like, here's what they want. They want a house that's kind of like the one you're showing, in kind of the same neighborhood, with kind of the same space. So all you got to do is find a couple more of those, and you take them out and you take them shopping, right? Now it is, I have time. Do you guys want me to keep going? Are you enjoying this? This is good so far? All right, because I brought it all for you. Now, I did my open house. I did my circle prospecting. I put my candles out. I made it smell nice. I had music. I made it fun. I made it interesting. I maybe even gave them something when they were there. I used to give out popcorn with a little sign on it. Hey, thanks for popping by, Jeff. You know, you could give something out that they could take. We gave chocolate, dollar store chocolate bars when they were huge, like, and they were an actual dollar bill. And I wrote on it, hey, thanks for coming by. This is the first dollar towards your down payment. Love, Jeff. And I gave it out at open houses. Like, you could just be creative stuff that just drags, just anything that drags their attention to you. So we've done the open house. We made the call. Somebody said, yes, I'll go out Tuesday night. Let's go look at 2. Now, you guys are all new and crazy and not quite sure what to do. So how do we convert that into a buyer? So let's take it right to the appointment, if that's okay. We're good with that? We're gonna go to an appointment. We're gonna go to the appointment. I'm gonna book 2. I'm gonna try and book 4, but in this market, I'll be lucky if I can book 2. I want to book 4. Ideally, I have 4 showings in my first night out, but 2 is enough. Okay, 2 is enough. 1 is never enough. And the reason why 1 is never enough is because the reason I'm going out with these people is to develop a buyer and develop rapport and sell houses. If I go to 1, they open the door, they go, I don't like it, close the door. Now what do I do? Right? They're going to get in the car and go away. There's no rapport, there's no nothing. I need another house to take them to. So, doorstep of the front house. Now, we walked up, I met them at the door. I never drive with my clients, ever drive with my clients. And the reason I never drive with my clients, remember, we're going to go look at more than one house. After the first house, especially if I'm with a husband and wife, I need them to talk privately. What I need is for them to get in the car and for the husband to go, oh, I really like that guy. And the wife go, yeah, I really like him too. That's the conversation I need to have happen between the first house and the second house. If I'm with them, that conversation can't happen. Now, here's what happens in their head. If they don't have that conversation, the husband spends the time going, I wonder if Alexandra likes Jeff. And Alexandra goes, I wonder if Jeff likes Jeff. And they're trying to decide, is this somebody that Alexandra, I don't know, we can't get alone to see if we really want to work with this guy. Whereas if I'm not with you and you drive from one house to the other, you can both agree that I'm a decent guy in that like 1 minute time frame, and that's all I need. Because once you have consensus with one another, now you reinforce that and you'll be my clients forever. So I'm not going to drive you. I'm going to meet you outside the front of the first house. All of you, how many agents here are brand new? Give me a show of nothing, I guess, because you're not on video, but okay, brand new agents. Make sure you know how to open a lockbox before you go to your first appointment. Logan is not here, but Logan learned the hard way. If you show up at an appointment and don't know how to open a lockbox, you don't look great. There's like 7 different kinds of lock boxes. And I will tell you, one of them is the old high school combination kind.
Yes.
And that was the first one I showed up and I couldn't remember. It's once around, past the number, then back, past the number, then back. And I couldn't remember that. So I couldn't go in the house. I couldn't show them the house because I didn't know how to open the lockbox. Make sure you know iBoxes, make sure it's installed, make sure it's updated. Oh, by the way, when you change phones, you need to reinstall it and you need to get a new passcode for the iBox ones. The rest of them are codes, but make sure that you know how to open them before you get there. My advice is go to your first few showings a few minutes before your client. And what I still do this, I'll go early, I'll go in the house and I'll turn on all the lights so that when my client gets there, all the lights are on. And I do that because the house looks better when all the lights on. And I want them to buy a house. So get there early. I'm going to meet them on the front porch and I'm going to say this exact statement or some version of it. I'm going to say, listen, you know what? This is our first night out together. And Danielle, we haven't been out here together. I don't know you very well. Part of the purpose of tonight is for me to see what you really love and what you really don't like. So I'm pretty good at this job, but we're probably not going to bang on the house of your dreams tonight. So here's what I want you to do. Be totally brutally honest with me. Remember that I didn't build the house. Tell me exactly what you love and exactly what you don't like when we're looking at the house so that I know. You know, let's say it's Tuesday, so I'll say, so that I know when we go out again on Thursday, the ones I pick for us are going to be perfect. I'm going to say that on the doorstep. And my clients will go, okay, and they'll go in the house. What they don't realize is they've just agreed to go shopping with me again. Oh, okay. And then they go. Now I've already booked Thursday. Now, and I've already told them that probably, and because what I don't want on my first trip out is for them to go, this guy's an idiot. He has no idea what we want. So I'm going to tell them in advance, I might be an idiot. This might have nothing to do with what you like, but we're going to learn each other tonight. And tonight is to get to know each other and see if we want to work together and see so that when we go out Thursday, I can get them back. Hang on. Then we're going to go look at the first house. And I let my clients see the house. I'll show them around. I'll point out cool things that I see that they may miss. Maybe it has a bidet, whatever, just cool things. What I don't do, and this is what I'm going to caution all you guys not to do, I don't criticize the house when we're looking. I let them love it first. Always let your clients love the house. You don't have to show them how much you know by criticizing, but always let them love it first. So I'll let them love it. And then at the end of the first showing, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this house? And because it's the first house we've ever seen, it's gonna be a 6 or 7. Right? And what I would say then to the client is, what would it take to make this into a 10? And then I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna let you think about it. And the reason I'm doing this, so I say, what would it take to, how would you rate it? What would it take to make it a 10? What I want to do in this first house is I want to kill a few things right off the bat. One, I want you to know that you're my client for life. We're going to go out again on Thursday and on Sunday. We're just going to do this till we find you a house. Two, I'm perfect, but I'm going to try my hardest to figure out what you want and match you with it. And three, no house is going to be perfect, but can we make it perfect for you? And that's what I'm doing with this question. So the question is on a scale of 1 to 10, what would it take to make it a 10? And then I want your feedback, because if to make it a 10, it needs a fence and some new carpet, I can make this house into a 10 for you. If to make it a 10, it needs a brand new kitchen and reconfigure their bedrooms, we're going to go look at a different house, right? So I want to start coaching my clients. There are some things that we can negotiate into a deal to make a house perfect for you, and some things that are just a reason not to buy the house. So that's the first house. Okay. We're going to go into the second house. This is why there's always two. Remember when I said I wouldn't meet in the office to sign the client? I'm going to sign him in the second house right now. So we're going to walk in and we're going to pretend you guys are a couple. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say, listen, before we take a look at this house, I need to show you something. Can you mind just coming over here to the counter for me? This is called Working with a Realtor. Everybody's seen this brochure. You guys have all seen the printed form. This is the brochure form you can buy for 17 cents at the board office. The reason I use this is because it's not a printed contract. And I say to my client, I say, listen, while we're shopping, I need to explain this brochure to you. This is from my board. What it is, it's called Working with a Realtor, and it explains how we work as realtors, what our responsibilities are, and the different options you have when you're working with realtors, so that while we're looking at houses, you understand what my obligations are to you guys. Fair? And then I'll go over this and I'll say, by the way, I'm going to need you to just initial here that I've explained this to you, from just so that I can show the board that I've shown you how it works. And while we're doing that, there's two different ways that I can work with my buyers, right? I can have a client relationship, and in a client relationship versus a customer relationship, it's kind of different. You guys know the difference, right? Client relationship is a fiduciary and it's everything, and a customer relationship is garbage, right? And you know how I'm going to explain it. So I'm going to say, I prefer this because this means I'm responsible for you and I take care of you and do this. This just means I help you with contracts and answer your questions. And this is kind of the relationship that I like to have with my clients. If you had to pick, which would you pick? Great, sign here. Now you're going to go into the next open house. Now, I don't want to sign this contract. No, it's not a contract. This is a brochure from the board, so you understand what I explained to you. That's all it is. Right? So I need to sign that. That shows that I explained it to you properly. You can read it like it's unthreatening. I've never had anybody question this, ever. Now, what they do though, when they go in the next open house, and the question is, have you signed anything with another realtor? Oh yeah, I did. I signed with Jeff. What did you sign? Shit, I don't know. But I signed. That's all that matters, guys. Like, this brochure is deadly. So I do this at the second house. Why do 2 houses? It takes me maybe 30 seconds at the kitchen table or at the counter in the kitchen, and I have them sign this and I throw it in my briefcase or my pocket or whatever I do. Now, by doing that, it gives me a chance to explain what realtors are and stuff. I'll do this as a separate when I'm doing a different training, but I also explain to them, you know, when you walk into an open house, who does that guy that's sitting near the grill in the open house, who are they working for? Right? All these people assume that I went into the open house, they must be working for me, the buyer. No, they're working for the seller. Everything you say can and will be used against you in a negotiation. So when you go into an open house, what you need to do is go in the open house and just give them my card, tell them you work with me, and don't talk to them. Otherwise, they're going to use whatever you say against them. Now, what I'm doing really here is I'm trying to build a wall around my client so that they're afraid of everybody else. They're just going to let me look after them. So that does it. So then we're going to look at the second house. I'm going to say the same thing. Go look, and I'm going to do the same thing. At the end of the second house, my line is very simple. Yuri, we've looked at 2. You have to buy 1 tonight. There's only 2 left on earth. Which one is it? Pick between the 2 we just looked at. And you're either going to say, I like this one or I like that one. If you say, I like the first one better, I say, great, we'll cross this one off the list. We'll hold on to that one. If you say, I like the second one better, I say, great, then let's cross the first one off the list. We'll hold on to this one. And then my question would be this. It would be something along the lines of, Anthony, could you see yourself living in this house? And I will stop. And as soon as they say yes, now I know, okay, I'm going to try and get a contract. right? Yes, they want to live in yes, they like it. Yes, they can see themselves living in it. And I always say the same thing at that point. I say, yeah, unfortunately, me too. I love this house. So what do you mean? So, well, if you love it and I love it, everybody else is going to want it too. So we're here now. What I recommend we do is we tie this up before somebody else steals it out from under us. Let me explain to you how we do that. We use contracts and blah, blah, blah. And I go on, we're going to go back to my office. So let's write this up right now so we can tie it up for you. Because I've been doing this a long time. This house isn't going to last. And if they say, no, we're not comfortable, I say, great, let's book a second showing tomorrow. Then come back to it again. And I'll line up a couple others for us to look at the same time. Or what I do a lot of times is remember I've already pre-booked Thursday. So if there's enough inventory out there, and it's starting to build up now, where I can actually go look at houses on Tuesday and Thursday, what I'll do is on Thursday, I'll book two and I'll book the one they like third. And I won't even tell them. And we'll go look at two. I'll say, which one do you like? Okay, how does that compare to the one we saw last week? I think the one we saw last week was a little better. I say, you know what? I booked it next so we can compare. Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so smart. And if they hate it, if they go, hey, you know what? I absolutely love this one so much more than what we saw last week. Then I go on my phone, I go cancel the book. That's it. It's simple, right? I'm either a genius or they don't know I did it. Either way. So open houses, the key to open houses, the key to success at an open house is it's not about the open house. Open house is a marketing opportunity. And if you use it that way, you'll generate a ton of business from it. If your mission is to just show up and kill 2 hours, and you can do that. And I'm sure there's agents like, if I'm selling a house and you want to do an open house and you want to show up at Sunday at 2 and leave at 4, I don't care. As long as you open the open house, like I tell my client, yeah, we had an open house on Sunday, right? Do I care that you built clients for you? No, but do I want you to? Absolutely. So when we do an open house together, do the work. But you can't walk in on Friday and go, I'd like to do an open house on Sunday and have it be successful. What will happen is exactly what happened to Alex. You'll do it for 5 years, you'll never make a client, right? The difference between making clients out of open houses and using it for marketing and business development and just doing it is night and day. It really is. One is an event. One is a circus where you're going to go meet a ton of people and you're going to do everything you can to promote it and everything you can to be entertaining at it and then everything you can to follow up and you're going to have success. One, bring a book, you're going to be bored as shit for 2 hours on Sunday afternoon and you probably should have spent it with somebody you loved instead, right? Like either do it or don't. But if you do it, it works great. We developed, so when I had my team, I used to have a team of agents. My team were required to do 2 open houses a month. And we did the circle prospecting and we did the mailers and we did everything. And every single person on my team got tons of open houses because they did it right, right? Can you imagine that one neighbor comes over and says, hi, I'm here for the neighbors only open house. Is it great? Are you thinking about selling? Well, you know what? I thought about it.
So can I ask about the neighbors only open house? 'Cause
Yep.
I like the idea of that.
Mhm.
Is the purpose of that in case they want to sell that?
So the real purpose of it, the actual purpose of it, neighbors are coming to the open house.
Mhm.
They're nosy as hell.
Yes.
You run an open house, the nosy neighbors are coming.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've taken that natural event of these nosy neighbors that are going to come anyway.
Okay.
Then we've put it on steroids. We've amplified it because we've made it into a special exclusive event for the nosy neighbor.
Okay.
So not only do they get to come, but now it's special for them. And the whole idea here is that if I'm going to list a house in one neighborhood, I want to meet as many of those neighbors as possible. In a buyer's market where we list 10 houses and only sell 3 of them, we want the neighbors to bring us buyers, right? If they have an aunt, an uncle, somebody, like, guys, you started in this business in a time where you just throw a house up and it sells. It wasn't always like that. Like there's a time when it's the opposite, where you've got 50 buyers and they won't put a deal on a house. They go look at the same house 20 times before they put an offer in. Like the market goes both ways. In those days, you want the neighbors to bring the buyers. Right now, what I want is the neighbors to realize that I have 15 buyers who put offers in on this house that didn't get it. And they want this neighborhood. And they're willing to pay more than we sold because they just tried to pay less and didn't get it. And I can sit with a neighbor and in 5 seconds, I can explain to him why this is a once in a lifetime opportunity because I sold this house for you to sell yours. And that's what I want to do. And if you're thinking of selling, now is the time. Okay.
So if the kind of the main purpose for us is that, then they will have us in mind for and start thinking of selling their own home. How
Absolutely.
do we explain that to our clients that we're selling their house? That
So you're my
to
client.
make them comfortable.
You're my client.
Yeah.
I'm selling your house.
Yeah.
And I would say just this, I would say, listen, one of the things I do is we do open houses, and we do usually Sunday for 4. I also do a special neighbors only open house from 1:30 to 2. The purpose of the neighbors open house, what I really want to do is I want to get all of the neighbors here excited about your house and talking about it in case they know somebody that they might be able to attract to buy the house, right? They're not going to buy the house. They live next door to you.
Yeah.
But what if their cousin's thinking of moving into town, or their aunt or their mother-in-law or somebody else, and it gives us one more bidder? And that one more bidder means we get an extra 10 grand. All of a sudden, it seems worth it for me to make those phone calls and have that extra half an hour, right? And all that is true. I would also tell my client, listen, the other thing I want to do is after I sell your house, I'd like to sell their houses for them too if they want. This is a chance for me to meet them. Why not tell them both? Just
Okay.
be honest, right?
Okay, yeah, so I don't.
I'm
know
always
why
honest.
it
Oh,
fits
no,
with the-
But those are the 2 reasons we're doing it, right? We want the neighbors to look so that if they know somebody, they can bring them in to buy it. But also, after I sell yours, I might want to sell theirs too. And this is the only way I can meet them. Trust me, people don't mind helping you if you ask for it and you let them know they're helping and you say thank you, they're cool with it. If you try and manipulate them and deceive them, they feel manipulated and deceived.
And you find it's that much more impactful having the exclusive neighbors one as compared to the neighbors just coming in during the regular time. like they will.
Absolutely. The neighbors, what the difference is you'll get one neighbor come in during the regular time, maybe 2.
Okay.
If you do the neighbors only, you might get 4 or 5.
Yeah, more, yeah.
The other thing is it's that Niagara Falls thing, right? If the neighbor comes in at the time when there's 5 couples there, you're never going to meet them. Like they'll be the 6th couple in the house. How are you ever going to know who it was,
Yes.
right? So when you get them beforehand, you know who they are. They're neighbors and they're potential sellers.
Okay.
Right? They're probably not buyers, but they're potential sellers. I did this once in Constance Bay, and I made the mistake. And in those days, I was new, so I did the open house from 2 to 4. Then I did the neighbors only from 4 to 4:30. Constance Bay, we're on Baskins Beach Road. At 3 at night, the neighbors and I were ordering pizza. We were all still there. They were telling me all the stories about their neighborhood, everything. We hung out for 2 hours, the neighbors and I was meeting them all for the first time, but they all knew each other. So my neighbors only open house got ridiculous. It became like a block party. My sellers came home. They're like, hey, why is everybody here? I was like, they all came. I don't know. So anyway, it was fun, but yeah. So open houses can be a blast. They can also be a huge waste of time. Like you're going to talk to people in this office. They go, I do open houses. They suck. Don't do them. Oh my God. Yeah. Nobody talks to you. Oh, it's horrible. It's this, it's that. But you know what? Think about what these people are doing. They're shopping for a house. They're out there looking for a house. They're like exactly who we want to meet, but they're human beings. So they're shy. They're afraid of strangers. They don't want to be sold. They're terrified you're going to somehow con them into doing something they don't want to do. So if you approach it like a salesperson, hi, welcome. I'd like to show you the features of this house. What do you think? Would you like to put in an offer? Oh, by the way, I'm blah, blah, blah. I got this or that or whatever. You approach it like that, you're just going to reinforce all their negative feelings. Disarm them. You know, come in, it smells good. There's music. This guy's pretty casual. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it feels more comfortable, right? If it's summertime, make sure the house is a little cooler than you'd normally keep it. If it's wintertime, it's a little warmer. Because when they walk in, you want them to feel comfortable, right? If it's really hot outside, you walk into a cool place, you feel comfortable. It's really cold outside, you walk in a warm place, you feel comfortable. You want them to feel comfortable. It's everything matters.
And do you
Everything.
normally like a bottle of water or something, or like, is that the norm?
We've done it all.
But-
I've done it all. Like on really hot days, I might pick up a case of water and just put them out. Usually I don't. I never do food. Ever do food. And I'm going to warn all of you guys, never do food at an open house unless you're ready to get in shit by your seller. Because every time I've done food, some kid's taking a cookie and the crumb is in the bedroom, or it's on the bed, or it's on the couch, or it's down. And my sellers are coming home freaking out that there's food in their house and yelling or eating. No, don't do food. Don't do food.
And there's allergies or something.
For me, it's just about people getting mad at me. Like, yeah. So yeah, I don't do food. But I've tried everything. I really have. We got a lot out of the little gifts, the popcorn bags and stuff.
I like that
They really
idea.
stuck in people's heads. Now, if you were looking for ideas, there's a thing called the internet. And if you were to go to the internet, you were to go to open house, small open house gifts. I guarantee there's 10 million really good ideas out there that somebody's already come up with that you can use as a gift at an open house, right? You want to go to the dollar store, you want it to be cheap and you want it to be funny. You don't want something nice because nice is nice. I want something that's going to stick in your head. You know, maybe on St. Patrick's Day is coming up, maybe I'll do a little leprechaun and say, you know, here's luck in your home search. Or if they bid on more than one, you know, this is for the next bidding war. Here's your lucky 4-leaf clover to win the next bidding war. Something like that. Like just use humor. And it sticks in people's heads and it's great. But the key to the open house is preparation, work, and follow-up. Just like everything else in life. Like if you do it right, it's going to work. It just is. There's no way you could do an open house. Like let's say somebody in this office grabbed a townhouse in Canada, Stittsville, Barhead, and we do an open house Sunday. Now that might require 3 of us for that one right now, because there'd probably be 40 people come through. Of those 40, there's going to be 7 or 8 of them with no realtor. Now they're already motivated to shop. They're out. They have no realtor and they met me. What else do I need? Like really, what else do you need to be successful in this than willing customers who have met you, who are active, who come to visit you? Seems to me like if you do this right, this is like rocket science, shooting fish in a barrel. And that's what I got out of it when I first started. I was like, hold on, they come here, they talk to me because they want to buy a house. And the guy I was working for said, yeah, that's how it works. I'm like, so what do I have to pay? He's like, you don't pay anything. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Yeah. But they literally, they walk in, they go, hey, how you doing, Jeff? Good. I'm here to buy a house. I kind of like this one. I don't really know what to do. And I don't know where to find somebody to help me. I'll be like going, you came to the right place. I'm glad you're here. We're going to help you. Now, does it work with everybody? Of course not. Like I'll do 2 open houses, get 40 people through, have 10 people with no realtors and only get 1 deal. Right. But if I did 2 a month, I got 1 deal a month. That's not bad supplement to my career.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. And when you meet them at the open house and then you call them the next day, they're really warm. They're friendly, especially if you did a good job at the open house. Like it's not like it's a cold call. You're just calling somebody you met the day before. So it becomes way easier. All right. That's it for me. Anybody have any questions today? Questions? No, we're good. Question online. You know, you good? All good? Okay, you guys good?
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
great.
All right.
Yeah.
There, you guys can have this for coming. Just my notes.
Thank you.
All right, I'll be in touch. Everybody have a great day.